Disucssions from the brand. Make some noise. It's the season finale. It's the season finale. And we've got a live audience with us. Yeah. Live audience. Oh, hype. Oh, they're hype. I think this section over here, this is section. Remember this section over here? What is this? They running out of gas over here. They running out of gas. This is cool that go to bed. First of all, get into Tate with the church clap in the background. Hallelujah. We are here. Let's see, because this is one of our games too, but let's see if y'all can do it with us if you've been watching the show. We are here every Monday at 9 p.m. Yes. We're here every Monday, and this is our season finale show. We've got a live studio audience with us, 11 shows. 11 shows. Every Monday. Yeah, every Monday. Every Monday. Not one day. We got some people who've been with us every single show here tonight. All 11. Yeah. So we're going to get into it. We're going to do some things that we've done in all of our shows, plus we're including you all. You guys are going to be our co-hosts, and we're going to bring some of you up on stage for some games tonight. Now, we don't have a whole lot of prizes. You might get some down-laters. And a thank you, but you might get some crackers. A piece of fruit. And we're going to look at some of our most memorable moments. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to include you guys in every single segment we do tonight. And the first thing that we did every single week was the Weekend Rewind. So, Tierra, what'd you do this weekend?
So, I actually had a client, and one of my clients is in the audience.
Where's she at? Where's she at?
Raise your hand.
Hey! There she is.
She is a newly licensed counselor, so she started her public brand on social media. So she had her first photo shoot with none.
Oh yeah, was that she when you had like the finger under? Did you go to church?
Huh?
Did you go to church this weekend? No? That's all right. Virtual. What'd you do this weekend? I didn't go to church. You didn't, and I tuned in. And you
Hold up.
Look, I had a lot of people text me like, hey, I'm there. I said, well, guess what? I'm not.
I went to church.
Here you go. I did. Definitely wasn't there. I was on vacation.
So what did you ask me for?
Because I go a lot. You didn't.
I don't.
You said you were a pastor. I was on vacation.
At home.
But no, the funny part, people were like, hey man, I came to surprise you. Should probably call me before you call me. Not there. What I did this weekend, I went to a book release, which was pretty dope. Some of the others were here for Jazz and Pool. Worked on some ministry stuff, made sure the sound stage was in place for us to be here tonight. And speaking of sound stage, yes sir. Can y'all please clap your hands for what this man has done in the sound stage? It's coming together. We still got a whole lot. This is amazing. Thank you, this is amazing. Like, I'm really proud of you, man. Like the lights. I came in here before this was done. It starts nice. And this is really nice. It's beautiful.
But y'all must be special, right? Because he didn't have a service in here yet.
He didn't. But see, it was the chairs for me. Oh, but the dancing that shall take place in here. It was the chairs. So there's another segment that we did every week that included this young man to my left. Who knows what it is? There you go. Who said it? You better know it. Come on, shoot, Cam. You better know it. What you rocking tonight, brother? So these are the Air Jordan 1's Fairness Edition. Okay. Are they the Praise Edition? Huh? Are they the Praise Edition? I can dance in anything. Now don't you worry about it. You know, I can... All right, so we're going to do something else that we did every week, but we need y'all's participation. It's time to rep your city. Hey, it's time to rep your city. Where you at? Oh, now you want me to help you. Oh, you didn't want to turn my mic up again. It's time to rep your city. Where? It's time to rep your city. Where? It's time to rep your city. Where? It's time to rep your city. Where DFTD at? You supposed to keep going. I'm gonna be an MC. You can't stop in between.
DJ Cool is on the ones and twos.
Let's try one more time. It's time to rep your city. Where? It's time to rep your city. Where DFTD at? Where Philly at? Where Jersey at? Where Jesus at? No, I'm just kidding. We got some people that came all the way from the DMV, bro. Yes, sir. All the way from the DMV. All the way from the DMV. KDT, baby. KDT, baby. All the way from the DMV. In the house. Baltimore. So listen, if you guys, I don't know if you notice, here you go, man, bro. If you notice, on the back of your chairs, There's a number.
Every chair has a number.
Every chair has a number.
Every chair has a number.
Grab your number.
Grab your number off the back of your chair.
We're gonna randomly
grab your number off the back of your. Every chair has a number.
Every chair.
And I know the number of all the chairs.
And it's not in order.
I'm gonna call you out intentionally. You won't sit in here tonight.
So we're gonna play
Culture tag.
Culture tag. Hey, let's do it. And we're gonna randomly pick. Now, I don't know if on this game we should give them help from the audience or not. No.
All right, so you get one. You only get one time to ask for help from the audience.
Okay.
These aren't too bad. We got 2 games tonight, but this one is.
I got some numbers in my head already.
Number 3.
Number 3.
And
come on, number 3.
Come on. And number 11.
Number 11. Who's number 11? Number 11. Number 11. Somebody got 11.
Number 1.
I'm going to find out who got 11.
Find out who got it.
Let me see.
If no
this
number
is,
11.
Let me see.
How they know
this is 24.
The ones in the back are all
This
20.
is-
You know how I know actually.
So-
This is 9, 10, 11. Okay, well, you got 11 now.
Let's go.
Come on, Pedro.
9 plus 2 equals 11.
In the spirit, it's 11. Come on,
Come on up here.
right here.
Come on up here.
Got it. All right, so we're going to play culture tags. Now, here's the rule. You're going to get a hashtag. You're going to get 1 clue. Okay? 1 clue, right? You can ask the audience, but you guys can't shout it out loud, all right? So if you know it, don't say it. But you can ask 1 person in the audience.
Only 1.
You can ask 1 person, okay? All right. So, the way we're going to go first is the first one to raise their hand. All right? Yes, we're on a budget, so we don't have no buzzers and bells. You just raise your hand and we
Don't call out.
all right?
Gotta be quick.
All right. This is the perfect closing for a sermon. You got a hand.
Wait, you ain't even tried it.
It's the perfect closing for a sermon.
You better know it.
Look at you.
Don't you embarrass me. You better know this.
Come on. They were saying.
Come on.
All right,
Come on.
They were saying, I know you've been down so long. Don't seem like it's going to turn around. But I remember the Bible said that it's been a long night, but we've been made. Hey! Yeah!
we've been made endure for it.
Yes! We've been made endure for it.
You excited?
That's it. Give it up. We've been made endure for a night. But joy. When's it coming? When's it coming? I forgot you the hooper now. Go ahead.
I want you to have a seat.
So, you know, this is my first time on our stage, so I feel a little. I feel a little nothing. My hat coming. All right, here we go.
Come on, let's give it up for y'all. She won. Come on. Clap your hands for her. Come on. Good job. All right.
All right, you ready? You got this one. You got this.
No, no, we got to get 2 more people.
Oh.
We're gonna do.
Yeah, we got to get 2 more people.
All right, let's get
You got to go. Kendra, you will have an extra year of elders classes because you did not know that. Extra year.
All
right. Number. Let's see.
Number 5.
5.
That's a good number.
Come on, 5.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
Hope City.
5 and number.
You got that Christian Mingle dress on tonight.
Look at it.
Come on
Did you
here.
say Christian Mingle?
It's my number. I can say that.
Yes. Number 5 and number 13. Who has 13? Here we go. Okay. It's a whole city battle tonight.
All right, here we go.
Now don't you call out.
All right.
Ain't time to dance.
Now, you gotta raise your hand. You can't blurt it out. And if you know it, don't blurt it out unless they call on you, okay? This is gonna be, should I use the easy clue? No. Okay, let me think. Okay, this is what somebody would say if you invite them. They would say, I don't know if I can come because I don't have that. But I don't have no church clothes.
What is it?
Come as you are.
Come as you are. That's all right. Give him a hand, give him a hand, give him a hand.
Good job.
So we got one for this side, one for this side. All right,
We got
one more.
one
Let's do one more. Come on.
One more. Let's do one more. All right, here we go.
Number one.
Number one.
That's a great number too.
Where's number one? Nobody?
Nobody has number one.
19. We got 19. Come on. 19.
You getting all
And
combinations.
21. Where's 21?
21?
No. 21.
I think Danielle's name is 21 in the spirit, so come on up. Come on up.
We got 21. Come on, here we go.
Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you up here. So this is what we actually want to say right now in crazy moments like this. A crazy moment's happening, they say, oh.
You can ask somebody for
You
help.
can ask somebody from the audience.
You ask somebody in the
They
audience.
would say, Lord.
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh. Go ahead. Yeah.
You won. That's how we do it.
Yes. Jesus
Give it
take
up
the
for
Lord.
him. Give it
Come
up
on, give it up for him, y'all. Hold on to that. Hold on to that.
Now,
Hold on to that.
does anybody have a culture tag they want to make up?
Make
Phrase. Yeah, you got one? All right, come on back up. All right, you got to just give us what the tag is first.
Hashtag WYC.
What do you say? What?
Okay.
WYC.
Okay.
You gotta give it a,
It's the end of service.
right?
Altar call.
I don't even know this guy.
Which one is it?
Let me take you.
No, pick one. Pick one. Go ahead.
Not will you, but
Won't you? Won't you?
Oh my God.
I did.
And she said not there. Now wait a minute. I'm so wrong. Now wait a minute. You're in the right place tonight, dude. We'll flip this. We'll flip this. Oh, this will turn into a that somebody wants you. Turn into a prayer request. It's a choice. Come on here. Tread lightly. We got hoop triggers, so we can dance in here if you want to now. Give it up to culture tags! Culture tags. All right, so I think we're going to go into, you want to go into some moments? Oh, hot topic. That's right. It's time for Lady T with the T. Get
So
into
you
it.
guys know I am Lady T with the T, always talking about what's the latest and greatest information that's out there, especially that celebrity gossip, right? So let's get this started. Rihanna was pronounced a new billionaire, and it has been said that she is worth more than Jay-Z and Beyonce combined.
Has anybody, hey, I got a question. Has anybody called Beyonce to check on her yet? I'm sure she's on suicide watch by now.
So
Let's ask this.
I'm sure.
Who is a part of the Beehive? Who's a Beyonce fan?
Who's part of the Beehive? Let me see. It's about two people.
All right, so we're gonna do a Beyonce and Rihanna challenge.
Okay.
So who's a part of the Beehive? We need one representative of the Beehive. Come on.
They only got two.
Oh my God. No, come on. That's right. Go hard for her. Who's a part of what is Rihanna? They like
Be a part of the Beehive.
military something she called something.
Who?
The Navy.
The Navy.
Okay. Who's a part of Rihanna's Navy? Who's the Rihanna?
Clearly her, because she don't want to.
All right, come on, Karen. Come on,
Karen, let's go.
I ain't know she had a clip.
All right.
I don't know.
You gotta sing one verse of, no, come on. You gotta sing one verse of a Beyonce song. Any song.
I can't sing for nothing.
And that's my cousin Jocelyn, y'all. Clap your hands. Y'all see her every week. That's my cousin right there.
Hold on, real quick. Jocelyn be having a comment.
Yo, every time, lit.
Every week.
Lit.
Hold on. Any song? Okay. Listen.
You're the one I love.
Hey.
You're the one I need.
Hey.
Come on, baby. You. That's your part.
That's my favorite part right there. That's my part.
This is the first time I'm gonna hear Karen sing too. I'm excited.
Oh.
Karen, you better sing.
So my choir back here is going to sing.
Okay.
Did y'all practice?
You have rehearsal.
Oh, I heard a little something.
Yeah.
Borrow y'all. Clap your hands. Clap your hands for
Give it up for him. Give it up for him. So Rihanna is a billionaire.
Rihanna's a billionaire.
What else you got for us?
Making more money than Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Now, is that clarified by Forbes?
I don't know.
Fortune
She got money.
500 company?
She got money, okay?
It was? It was? Wow.
Well, as we move on, international black women are really leading the scene when it comes to
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
They quit the Olympics.
Yuma Roja is setting a new record as far as the final as a result of a 15.67 meter. Luciana Alvarado is the first Costa Rican gymnastic to qualify in the Olympics, and Rebecca is the first Brazil's first medal in gymnastics.
Give it up for our black queens doing it big.
Who runs the world?
But you know what I found interesting about
Yeah.
that is that there was so much stuff going on with the Olympics that dealt with people who looked like us, right? And it was still a stage set for us, and we are really trailblazing in that area. So shout out to them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna talk about it in one of our clips, but also who's the young lady who was the track star? Shakari, right? So Tierra. So I was wondering, what it feels like for her to have to actually watch, all of this taking place and not be able to participate. So I'm not sure what the, if she'll be able to compete in the next 4 years, but let's definitely send up prayers for her. Just clap up for her. Good.
Well, I feel another game coming.
Another game coming?
Yeah. So I'm really excited about this game, guys. This game is called Who Said That?
Y'all remember Portia?
Who said that? Who said that? So here's the rules to the game. We are going to show you 6 quotes. How many? 6. That's the teacher in you. 6 quotes. And your job is to decide which one of us said that. Now, there was a whole lot of stuff that been said.
Yeah.
So everybody has their number. We're going to choose one person per quote. Is that okay? We're going to do one person per quote. Is that cool?
Yeah, we're gonna pick numbers.
All
right?
right. Ken, choose the first number.
All right, let's do number 5. And
All right.
let's do number 14. Anybody got 14? Oh, 14 on that?
Boom.
What numbers are on this side? I don't know what number.
What numbers is on this side?
What number did your row start?
What numbers on this side over here? Somebody done took all the numbers off the chairs on that
Come on
side.
up, come on up, come on up.
Ain't no numbers on there. They put blank paper up there.
Susan Matthews. And we'll make it easier for you. You have to stand right on the edge of the
They
stage.
put blank paper on this side.
There you go. That way you don't have to come up and down.
All right, so
you ready?
here's the first one. So let me ask you this. Who said that? So let me ask you
He
this.
said it in more than one show.
Nope. Nope.
It's always me.
Pastor Will. Yeah. I heard Mama say it. All right, we're going to pick two more people.
Will is always the one starting some trouble. Talking about, let me ask you this.
We're going to do number Shantae and
And number D.
And number Danielle. Let's go.
Danielle.
Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
perfect
Your
number.
number is your name.
Okay, you ready?
Y'all came ready.
And they came dressed like they was ready to be on TV.
One on this side. One like y'all can stay down there. Y'all can stay down there. Come on.
I'm
Let's
going
go.
to be on camera.
All
All right. What's the next quote?
Ready? Okay.
Yup, I was there, bedside Baptist.
All right, y'all both got that one at the same time. Give it up for them. We can do. Let's do number Anna.
And number Sakithia.
There we go.
Sakithia. Perfect.
Perfect. Come on.
Come on, crew.
That's a cute shirt.
Y'all dressed tonight. Y'all came for it.
That's a good shirt.
There we go. All right. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Don't tell me what God won't do.
And Yes. Yes. Tell me what God will do. All right. Let's do
number Nicole.
Number 3. 12. Who got number 12? Come on, number 12. Come on. Number 12. Hey, come on, friend. What number you got? 20. Come on up here.
Number 20. Good numbers. Here
we go. Y'all ready?
Oh, she a part of y'all gang, quote unquote sorority.
And no. Yes.
Wait, she had to think about it. She said, oh no, it was you. Oh, it was you.
Yes. Give it up for him. Give it up for him. We got one more. Come on, EP. Come on. Hey, come on, Mom. Come on, Mom.
Come on, Mom. Come on. Come on. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
You remember. Come on.
All right.
How can I say this? Who says that?
Got a word in my mouth, Lord.
All right, last one. Now here's the catcher with this. There are 3 parts. Who says what part?
We're here every.
Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute. They said
Okay, there you go. There you go.
All right, this is how we'll do it. This one. We are here every, who says that? Monday, Thursday at 9 p.m.
Clap your hands, y'all.
Yeah.
They make you feel like a star on that last part.
Listen, they have been with us the entire time.
You guys really have. And we really just kind of just started this on a whim and really haven't put in all of the marketing and promoting like we really could to build it. But we thank you guys for rocking with us. I know for me, and we're going to get into some of our top 5 memorable moments, but for me, this has kind of been a getaway from all the things that we do as pastors, and business owners, and leaders that just come together every Monday night. We would even come hours earlier and just watch TV, laugh. This guy would watch old YouTube videos on choirs. We would come and do our work together. Tate would bring her laptop. So this has been a really good one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far as well. Give yourselves a hand.
You know, Ken, I was going to say the same thing too. I was thinking about that earlier. Like usually when you have to do something continuously, you get tired of doing it throughout. And this was actually one thing that I looked forward to doing. Even if I was tired, like we literally had fun doing it, and we worked so well cohesively.
Yeah, and the way that we know we work so well is you guys probably don't realize it from watching, but sometimes we would come and we had no idea what we were talking about. And we'd be like, okay, it's 7:45.
How's this gonna go? Who's gonna lead this?
We would literally be like, okay, what are we talking about? But it all came together. So we're gonna go into our memorable moments. We're gonna show you videos of each, and then we're gonna have dialogue, what you guys thought about that moment. Some of them are still hot topics, so let's get into the first one now. We apologize, there may be a bit of a delay, but when you watch it in the watch party next week, it'll all sync.
So this first clip that we're going to talk about, this was our show on Navigating Spotlight. So you'll see this segment. You'll remember a lot of it from the beginning, but when we get into the conversation, you guys will remember more about it. We're going to ask some of you to share about that show that night. All right, here we go.
I think integrity is something, and this is just my opinion, I think that integrity is something that is not learned. It has to be embedded in you.
That's good.
Talk more about that. And so morals, values, those are things that are separate from your gift, your talent, your calling, your assignment. And a lot of times we are trained on how to cultivate that, but not how to be integral, right? So for example, and this is no slight to anybody, but you know, we find a lot of times that and I'll put myself in that, well, no, I don't have that character, but we find a lot of times when people have a gift or a talent, they're often slacking in things that are integral, just like being on time, right? Or responding, right? Or just walking with professionalism. So I think that integrity is something that we have to focus more on. Because for me, I would rather work with somebody who was integral but had subpar skill than somebody who is extremely skilled but has very little integrity.
There's a certain level of expectation that you should say, if I'm going to be in this, you know, arena, if this is going to be the stage in which I'm present, there's a certain level of expectations that comes with that. And I believe that a lot of people fall because they don't surround themselves around the people that will hold them accountable.
That so good. Before I say anything else,
I do believe that that's part of it too, right? But then also when we're looking at this celebrity mindset and just people who are in
the state of celebrity, people hold them so high that they can't handle them at their lows, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of take and we strip their humanity
Right. And
out of a lot of different things, where it's like they can only but do so much. And this is why we see people who like are committing suicide or like going psychotic crazy because people are not allowing them to be human. Like nobody's perfect. Nobody.
But at the same point, you have to allow yourself to be human.
Do you think that sometimes we're unfair with the expectations or grace that we give people that is on a high level?
I agree, but I don't agree because I just got passionate.
You did.
I felt the fire burn.
That thing jumped up real quick.
Got personal for a minute. I was about to get mad. Wait a minute. I think that
Jocelyn is good.
I want you to read her comment. I think that sometimes, yes, we can put too much expectation.
Sure.
But when you present a picture of yourself to me that you are at this level of integrity and you are at this level of
if you
have no effect. Exactly. So I'm going to put you at the level that you said. That's why I always tell my church, I'm still working my life just like y'all.
Right.
Wait,
so
please don't put me up there.
I knew it was coming.
Yo, bro, I will tell them in a minute.
Yes,
don't you dare make me no God.
Yeah.
And I think I struggle with that, especially for leaders in the spotlight, not necessarily for the mistake, but the ownership. I never am one to condemn for the mistake itself. It's the way in which they try to clean things up. And a lot of times when they start to try to clean things up, they start deflecting their behaviors onto other people or somebody else doing something.
Sure.
Right.
We could talk about a whole number of celebrity pastors who are doing that, right? So it's never usually the issue that got to the spotlight. It's usually how they're trying to clean it up. There's a lack of ownership. There's a lack of integrity to even name, like, this is what I did and this is what I'm going to do to fix it. It's usually some afterthought. And then it's some level of like, I'm human. So I'm going to take a step back and get to know Jesus and kumbaya, my Lord.
Certainly. And I mean, just to lay some foundation, this conversation that we're even having. Oh my God, having.
Yes,
it's all right. You won't come.
Having. It's okay.
That's all
For
right.
real? You gonna press in on it though?
Having. You got it.
This conversation that we are having is not even from a place of judgment. Because let's be honest, Pastor, Bishop, just watching the show, we've all at some point in our life only been a screenshot away from exposure.
All right.
Come on, clap your hands for navigating the spotlight. So I think, I remember that show, and I just remember the thought behind it was how much we hold each other accountable. And I think in that moment, in the clip, we talked about surrounding yourself with people that hold you accountable. And I still firmly believe that a lot of people fall because they put themselves around people that okay their foolishness and use grace as a crutch. But grace is not supposed to save you when you fall. Grace is supposed to keep you from falling, right? So in all actuality, we use grace in the wrong text. We use it for when it's over. You're supposed to use it to keep it from happening, right? So, and I think that's the narrative of our brotherhood for so long. Like, we've had some conversations behind closed doors where people are like, wait a minute, do they even like each other? Because our bar is so high, and when one of us don't meet it, we don't pull no punches, with that. So, I just remember that segment. What's your thoughts?
Go ahead. I was going to say, I think for the audience, my question is something that you said in that segment was, do we hold people at too high of a standard, right? And so I think the conversation surrounding where our standard for certain people comes and why is it different for some versus others. So that's my question to you all, whoever wants to sound up on that in the audience. Why do we have different standards for different people? Why is it okay for, let's just use church, why is it okay for the pastor to do it and be restored, but not for the young lady in the congregation?
Sure.
Right?
Go ahead.
Jocelyn, stand about the audience.
Jocelyn said, I've been waiting for this moment. Give me the mic. Been in the comments all season.
Stand up, Jocelyn.
A lot of it's also based off clicks and who you know, who you're connected to. So like in church, you have the girl, not even a girl, but I don't want to give them away. I thought they business. My God.
Exposed in 101.
Listen, no, because I've seen it they sat down. But yet, in my situation, okay, there you go. Can you hear me now? Good. I've seen someone in leadership who's doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing and didn't even get sat down, wasn't held accountable, got a slap on their wrist. But then I've seen other people in leadership, especially women, they got hit with the book. So a lot of it's, I guess you could say, church culturism, whatever, I don't think that's a word, but also again, who you're connected to, who you know, who you don't know, who you under, sometimes it's just the people itself.
And you know, to your point, we talked about this in the show, that idea of like ladder of sin, right? Where you can have the minister, the deacon, the bishop who is sleeping around with somebody else and they're married, but then you got the gay person who's been leading your choir, and as soon as the moment they come out, they got to sit down, right? Because we're looking at sin as if there's some hierarchy, as one is there.
Yep. Just so we can move on, I'm gonna hold the mic for you guys. Go ahead and give me a comment.
I think there's two parts also. I think it is blackmail, right? And I think there is a level of patriarchy and misogyny that we don't really talk about.
Fancy words.
Fancy words, okay?
That's good word.
I go to
Hope
Hope
City.
City. 50 Cent words. It's a Hope City word. So when it comes down to the patriarchy, I think it is and has always been that it's just in a man's nature to do something, right? Almost as if
Sure.
he can't help it, but women are tied to this vow of chastity that we didn't take. That's really honest, right? But number two, when it comes down to blackmail, the more somebody knows about you, the less you're willing to out them, right? Because they can go ahead and unveil that can of worms on you. And when it comes down to leadership, when you trust leadership, you pour into them and tell them everything you've done. So if they come into a fault, it's like, well, I know what you did. If you have that kind of leader, I know what you did, or you're going to judge me, but I know what you did, blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. Almost as if my one mistake isn't as bad as your life.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of where the expectation.
Your one mistake ain't bad as your life.
Wow.
I gotta find a text for that. Come on, clap your hands. And for EP.
So listen, here's another question. When we're talking about life in the spotlight, right, when people fall, can you follow someone who you know has recently fell? Can you still fully receive from them? Yeah? No, go ahead.
I don't want to do this all night, but it's how do you manage it, right? If you fall, we all know you fell, and you get up on the pulpit, and then suddenly you're kidnapping scriptures to justify your ill behavior. I can't receive from that, but if you get up repentant, you can preach that Sunday. To me, if you get up and say, I need the same, because it's not really grace, it's mercy we need, right? So grace to keep us from falling and mercy when we do, so that we don't get what we're supposed to do.
You're not gonna get me stirred up. I'm not responding.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's why
good on me.
executive.
I'll go right with you. Don't do that. I'll go right with you. Not tonight.
So listen,
No, sir.
but who maybe has an alternative opinion? Maybe you say, I don't know, it's kind of hard for me. Right? Because, for example, I don't want to give any names. Let me see how I'm going to say this. No.
There you go.
Let me see. Go ahead. Stand your feet.
I think it depends on your maturity and how well built you are in the Word. Because ultimately, you're supposed to follow the God in them, the Christ in them, not them themselves or the flesh.
Good.
She knows Jesus.
What about when they've done it not one time, not two times,
Multiple.
now we're on 3 times. Can you still? Danielle says no. Why not? I'm gonna bring you out to shake. That's my buddy right here.
I feel like no, because I feel like you know that you keep doing the same thing over and over again. The first time I made, okay, we gonna get through it. Like Sis said, it's a maturity thing as well. So that's how I look at it.
So let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Because we make mistakes over and over and over and over again, right? And we don't necessarily want to be cut off from the people who we are in covenant with of what type. So how do we balance that?
Well,
I think you have to.
I was gonna say I think the difference is between being a leader
Okay.
and being someone who is still growing. If you are a leader,
That's what
at
I was
some
waiting for.
point- Yeah.
I'll go a little further though, and I'll throw this to you, and you can pick it up. If outside of leadership, what does the scripture say? If a man falls 7 times, right? What is our responsibility to forgive them?
But are you really falling? Is the question.
Is it a fall?
Because at what point do you
Or
realize I don't need to be in that environment because that's my weakness, so I don't need to be around that. I think what happens is that we have built this standard for leaders and celebrities that we're fogged by who they are and what they do so much that we're more forgiving than we are somebody else.
So I agree, but listen to what the text says, right? You're asking, is it fallen because it's repetitive? But it says 70 times 7. Right?
Yeah,
So
you don't
that's
believe me.
So that's a number, but may not lead you.
But what did I say? No.
You didn't write the book, right? So, but Scripture tells us that our responsibility is to restore them.
Restore, but not elevate you.
Well, now wait a minute. No, but wait a minute. Are we talking about elevating? Because if I'm a leader, you can restore me, and if I'm back in my position, that's not elevation.
For me, it is because you're elevated higher than the people, because you're someone we look to, not me.
But you were a leader before you fell.
Right.
Elevation takes you to another level.
Not my church.
Let's talk it. You did what? Elevation is another level.
Come on, let's get some conversation around that. So we got two different opinions here. We've got restoration, you just keep being restored and brought back to where you are. Or maybe you need a season to sit down until you figure out why.
Now I don't negate that. Now I do think that there's a pause. Now,
and that's what I'm saying.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, you're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall every Tuesday, and then we're gonna put you back up every Sunday. Now, we're not going to do that.
And then you're not going to get smart with us.
You're not.
Well, I'm just human, and we don't want that. We want you to be humble.
I want you to. Go ahead.
Because I know some people. What were you going to say?
That goes back to accountability. At a certain point,
Yeah.
you have to find yourself around people that are going to check you hard. Like, listen, stop calling them, right? At this point, it's not a mistake. You like that. That's an addiction. This is what you do. So either change your position so you can live happily in what you keep doing.
Or sit down.
Or deal with the sacrifice that comes with this position, which is, I can't have that because I'm this.
Yeah.
It doesn't strip you of your humanity, but it makes you
holds you
more aware
accountable.
of it, right?
Yeah.
It makes you more aware of it and your need for additional assistance, even if that means taking a season off. Like, I have an addiction, I drink too much. Y'all gotta preach for 2 months. I need to go to AA. And we don't advocate that.
But that was between us. So.
Yikes. But I think to your point.
We don't advocate grace and leadership. We don't advocate. We make it seem like a weakness, right? Or put your hand to the plow and don't turn back.
But I think it's two different things, right? I think weakness and wickedness. Those are two different. I can do this, right? So, like, because I agree with you, and what I don't go for is I have a weakness. If this your 10th time, this ain't no weakness. You wicked. It's a choice. You wicked, right? But what happens is, I know someone personally that I respected, that ministry is scraping the barrel, and they finally decided that I'm going to do it right. And now because you've done it wrong so many times, this one time it won't even work. Right? Yeah. So when you talk about it, I think in those instances, those are the people that continue to get up, continue to get nasty, right? Yeah. Oh, y'all sitting on me like you ain't never did nothing. No, we done stuff, but we ain't did that. And you're not gonna make me feel bad because you keep doing that. Right. So I do think there's a level of grace, but I also believe that accountability is the key, and at some point you have to decide I'm just not gonna do that no more.
Yeah. Give yourselves a hand.
Yeah, let's do it.
Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand.
Let's go to number 4.
I do just want to say one more thing about that is, and then we're going to go. Also, I think on a serious note, we have to deal with the enablers of these individuals. I think about R. Kelly, right? Most of what he did because he had people who were around him supporting it and enabling it and made it so that he was able to do that. So we definitely got to deal with that.
And you know what was tough, man? Like, I think growing up,
you know what preachers.
R. Kelly was like I come from a musical house, and my mom, you couldn't play the curse stuff. Like you gotta put that in your room, put it down real low, because if she hear it, she's not gonna turn it off. She's gonna throw your whole radio out the window. Right? That's it. There she go. That's right. Raise your hand, mom. That's right. Oh yeah, I'm getting it out today. Yeah. But R. Kelly was such a musical genius, right? And
that's what makes it sick.
I think being around, again, people that enable his behavior, right? I had to say, I can't, as much as I love your music, I can't even listen to it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that will because of what you said, because of the musical genius behind it. All right, y'all ready to move on? You enjoying yourselves?
So number 4 is, this was the night we did a Hot Topic variety show. Now,
remember when we said half of the time we really be making stuff up? This was one of those episodes where it was like an hour before the show, and we're like, all right, what we doing? Like, what we talking about? Too much going on. All right, you take this, you take this, I take this, and let's just go with it. And this was literally a show that we did not plan until the day of.
Let's take a look.
And we had so many topics.
There is a lot to talk about.
Lady T, lead us into
So you guys know it's your girl, Lady T, and I always come with the hot topics. But bro, it was so much stuff that happened. So we had to dedicate this whole episode to talk about every last one of them.
Bill Cosby, in a amazing twist of events, was released apparently on a technicality that he was told by the former prosecutor that he would not be charged with what he admitted to.
Yeah.
And so through a technicality, he was released from earlier. How can I say it and not see? That's the thing about being a pastor.
You want me to say it in a nice way?
No, because I don't know what your nice way is.
I got a nice way. I swear.
I just feel like I don't think there's a nice way with you.
I just feel like if he just went to bed one night and
He said if he could just rest well.
Yeah, we could just be done with it. But I'm not trying to kill the man. I'm just saying, like,
version. Let the man rest
enough
well.
is enough. Yes.
So Messy Wendy pretty much on her show, you guys know she's the gossip queen. She talks about everything.
Yeah.
So she brought up talking about Tabitha and how she retired her husband.
Yep.
And
look at the faces.
Tab, with all of her grace and glory, pretty much checked her in the most gracious, classy way. I think anybody, I don't know who could do that in the way that she did.
The thing, I don't agree with all of her opinions.
I don't agree with her opinion on this one because it was based on her own personal experience.
That's what I was going to say, is that she based it upon
her
husband.
Yeah, your messy relationship.
And he was not the same.
That wasn't everybody's relationship. And I think that was my issue with it. She talks about a lot of things, and sometimes she is hitting it right on the head. But with this situation, it sounded like she was an old bitter bag.
Yeah.
About a situation that she dealt with, that she couldn't celebrate another woman in her relationship for doing something that was honorable.
Yeah, so let's talk about our running girl.
Yeah,
our running girl,
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri, as we all know, has been disqualified for her testing, positive for marijuana. Play devil's advocate because this is what I do. This is my part of the show.
Yes, sir.
The marijuana doesn't help her run. Like, it doesn't enhance her.
And you know what I even said about that?
It's not an enhancer.
And this is my issue with the whole marijuana situation. I said, I said, there's a bigger picture. I said, because now the states are in a place where we're legalizing marijuana on one end and making it easily accessible. But then on the other end, we're criminalizing it too. And most of that is at the detriment of Black and brown people.
Yeah.
So you got Black men in jail. You have a runner who can't run from the use and the selling of it. But at the same time, y'all making it legal. Like, pick one. Because now we're talking about something that's not equitable.
Like, if we're talking about performance enhancing drugs, we're talking about a total different landscape. This marijuana does not help her run faster. It does not give her, an edge over anybody.
Right.
Now, if the rules is, no drugs, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But let's not make it like, she is taking something that helped her.
It would not make sense for us to do a show where we couldn't really be honest and share our thoughts and be transparent.
Yeah.
I'm not coming on here to pull up a scripture and say, well, the Bible says in No, I'm going to talk like how we talk, because that's what people are looking for these days. And I feel like those of you, and what I love is that many of you either know us through our churches or through, when you know us, you know what we stand for. But these are conversations we have to have. And I don't want to, I feel like I'm getting ready to do a offering spiel, but if this show, honestly, if this show has helped you in any way through our conversation, we want you guys to put it in the comments, because I think the three of us have really merged a great way to laugh and to joke, but to really talk about some things that are affecting us, whether it was our show on family issues or conflict or whatever it was. So I totally agree with you.
You want to say that first? Yeah, I think I remember that episode, and I think that was the night that I learned such a valuable lesson. And I think the valuable lesson was that trauma does not have a date on it. for so long, because I remember talking about Bill Cosby, and when I looked at that closing segment, that's what brought back to my mind, because I remember saying something about it. And I think what I learned that night from so many of the comments is, for so long, I've always looked at trauma having an end date, but not realizing everybody's end date to trauma is not the same. Just like everybody's start date to talking about is not the same. Because we were talking about Bill Cosby. Y'all remember that? We were talking about Bill Cosby, and that was the night you said, I think we're about to have our first argument. but I remember saying something that is like, it's bad, like it shouldn't be said. And I remember saying, well, why did they wait so long?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I said, why do we wait? I said, so why do people wait so long? Not realizing that is offensive to people that have been through traumatic experiences. So I learned such a valuable lesson that night, that like people's trauma doesn't have necessarily a start date and an end date. And like those people need to be respected of when they want to talk and when they decide to seek up. So I learned something.
Let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for that. You got something you want to say? Oh, thank you. What kind of? Oh, I'm gonna think it's the other.
But that's a good session right there.
Here we go. I think I need
So many good
Tate,
ones.
see the
It was
main
really hard
remote in the
editing
back
these.
from the TV.
Talk about that. It was really hard editing these because while I was looking at it, it was so many things I wanted to put in it.
Yeah.
But we could have been watching all of these episodes from start to finish,
Yeah.
literally. Because what I love about the conversations that we're having, they're very transparent. And more importantly, our audience is not afraid to share their opinion.
No.
And I think that is what creates a flow. And I don't even think that you guys recognize this, but we depend on how you guys engage to drive our conversations. And it's like if people weren't so transparent in the comments, Jocelyn and Seth, we would not have nearly as much good content as we do, because our audience literally, we be like, oh, they gonna love this.
Yeah.
They gonna drag this thing through the mud. And we literally think about how you guys respond, what you guys think about that kind of lead our conversations.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna roll along because we want to get you guys home at a decent hour. But I want to pull one question from this for the audience, if I can. Real quick.
Sure.
So let's go back to the Wendy and Tabitha and a comment that you already fired. She got fired up as soon as I said it.
All right.
So one thing that I saw from that was that there was a perspective, Wendy Williams, right, who was judging where Tabitha was and what she was doing with her husband based upon her situation with her husband. So the question for you all is, can you receive advice from a friend whose relationship may not be where yours is? I see two. I see a yes, and I see a yes, and
I don't see a lot of hands.
All right, so let's go with the no first.
You can't take me somewhere you've never been. And so if your relationship failed, there's nothing that you can tell me to make mine survive.
Ooh. So she says, so if she, let's say she's single, right? And she's like, oh no, you shouldn't be with him because he ain't doing right. Is your opinion, well, you ain't got no man to do right or wrong. So.
Don't you never, you ain't got nothing nice to say. Don't you say nothing to mess up nobody else say, all right?
I always say, you can't touch me where I hurt if you haven't been hurt there too. So there's no way that you can help me get to a place that you've never been, because you don't know how to get there, if that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, so I agree and I disagree. For the sake of this particular moment, I don't think you necessarily have to like be a crackhead to tell somebody not to do crack, right? So when it comes down to relationships, I think it's easy for us to ignore red flags and, you know, we love the person, we have insight to them, we have background, but sometimes an unbiased opinion to see things for what they are and not what we want them to be. So if I am a single friend and I see my friend in a truly damaging, toxic relationship and she comes at me crazy, or even if I say, hey sis, I think, you know, he probably could do better. When you know that this person has a potential to treat somebody better and you tell them that, I think it's about that person. Because the honest to God truth is, in my single experience, every friend that I've ever had that was in a relationship, when I said something to them, they got offended because I was right. And pointing that out to them meant that now other people see it too. As opposed to, oh, Steph, you're just a hater, and this, that, and the third. Now, after a couple of times, live long and prosper, okay? And you go out there and be made a fool of, and I try to tell you, and we can talk about it when you leave because he's leaving, but in the end, I think it doesn't necessarily mean I don't have to have a certain experience, but an unbiased opinion and a full scope of something without the emotional attachment can help govern things differently than when you're attached to it.
Sure.
Let's give it up.